What up, everybody? I'm gonna try to do this a little fast. Okay, so this is the Fuji guitar. I gotta have some work done to the frets. It is fretting out up high near the 24th fret. It's got the go-to tuners, Fishman pickups. It's a great guitar. Ebony fretboard. Sounds great. Now, this is gonna go into something I'm doing now. Now, I'm playing through an EV-ZLX and it's sitting like a monitor, which means that cone speaker is pointed up at me. I'm gonna show you something because I read that I was on a forum and I was trying to explain to somebody. Okay, so now I'm gonna just tilt the speaker upright. So now the speaker's straight up. Listen to the sound of it now. Totally different sound. So this is why people don't get that tube-like air push. When you tilt it up like a monitor, your speaker's up. That bass is not hitting the floor. When you tilt your speaker up like it is now that speaker is pushing that bass down the floor, bouncing up an air, pushing air towards your legs. You can get that feel like a tube amp. So why is that? Look at a guitar cabinet, straight up, bottom speakers like this, top speakers higher. So that second speaker is not gonna hit you as much as the bottom. And you get a wider dispersion. If you have one 12 like that and then stacked another 12 on top of it, you're basically setting it up almost like you had guitar cabs. So what you could do is have like a little roller cart with them clamped together and roll them right out and stand them straight up. Now for me, I would bring a 12 and a 15. The 15, losing some of that bass, I would put that as a monitor on one side and then have the 12 on the other side of me standing up. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna create a balance like a guitar cab. 112, 112, 112, 112. That is the trick to that. And I don't care what you have. If you have Helix, Kemper, whatever, do that with that. Now, what I read, oh, by the way, I'm representing today. So what happens is, this guy said he did his patches before he played out through his headphones. That's a no-no. You want to get a PA speaker, not an FR cab, not an FR. When you do patches, they're not gonna sound the same. You have to do it through a PA speaker. Why? You're running through a PA. Why not use a PA speaker to get your patches sounding right? And then when you transfer it over and run into a board, then you got your sound. However you want to tilt your cabs on the floor, that's up to you. But at least your patches are going to have a true sound to what you heard. Same thing if I stand this up. Now if I take the bass out of that and then lay it sideways, it's going to be very thin sounding. So be careful of how you do that when you create your patches. So, and second is, these guitars, you can get them on Reverb. Ebony fretboards, I think they're around $2,000. I picked this up for $700, I think, at Sam Ash. It is fretting out up here, so if I bend, it's the first two strings up to about the 3rd or 4th fret. I bend hard, but if I play single notes, I'm fine. So it's not a big deal for me, but I'm gonna go have some work done. I'm not gonna do it myself this time, just because it's a wider fretboard. And I'll have somebody do the frets. It's got one nick and it's up high. So maybe somebody tried to hammer it or something, but that's besides the fact. Sorry it took so long to see for you guys to check this out. I hope that, oh, and I did an update on the head rush, changed nothing from the original. It might have given me a few more options and cabs and heads and some other stuff. But again, like I said, these things, why go spend a shitload of money when you can buy something like this for $250, $350, a cab used like that, a PA speaker for $300, for $500, you got an amp. Again, you buy a head, you're at $2-3 grand for a nice head without any pedals, no cab. And let me explain something. These are to tweak. Just like when you get a head and you tweak the knobs. It's the same thing. But your pedals and everything are built into this. So keep that in mind. Just like your pedals and your amp head, you got to tweak it to get the sound you want. If not, we would all sound the same. Getting into this is, there's a lot of parts to guitar playing. It's not just about the playing. There's a lot of aspects that go into it. Just like working out, for example. You don't just go and lift weights and you go, I don't see no results. Well, duh, you're not eating right, you're not doing cardio, there's a lot of different factors that go in. Rest even counts, nutrition counts, vitamins, certain things just line up and stack with the workout to get the results. Same like guitar playing. You gotta work on your rhythm, you gotta work on your lead, you gotta work on scales. The scales create chords which help you writing. Theory helps you write. And then you have the gear part, which is sound engineering. You just can't buy an amp and expect it to sound good. You have to get it to sound what sounds good to your ear, that pleases you. That's why I don't promote, go buy this, go buy that, the 5 essential guitars, the amp you need. No, that's a load of bullshit that everybody feeds you on YouTube. And I'm not for that. I really not. That's like me telling you, you need to eat pizza. And here's the thing. Now, if you type in head rush, I think it's a good product. It is. Is it as good as a Fractal? Yeah. In some aspects, it's better. In sound, not quite as good because you can't tweak it as much. But that sounds great. I mean, if you listen. Sounds like a guitar. That's all I need it to sound like. Do I need 50 million effects and 50? No, I just need rhythm, lead, and a clean to get through a gig. I can manipulate my playing to sound whatever I want to play. Blues, you just. It's here. You can do whatever you want. So with that in mind, these are made for tweaking. You're gonna have to create your patches, and I don't care what modeler you have. When you tilt it up the proper way, that's gonna be your true sound. If you want that air push, stand one upright and the other angled. I know that for a fact. That's not my opinion. I can hear it and I can feel the difference. And never do your patches with headphones. Now, some of the other stuff I was going to talk about, we'll get into some of the other stuff maybe, but really quick, if I play in C major, let's say G major, I've showed that a million times. This is why scales are important. G is your 1, 2 is your A, 3 is your B. A 1, a 3, and a 5 are what make up your chord tones. That's a G. The 5th degree is a scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a D. And a B. Major, minor. It's one note. You flat the third, and you got your minor scale. That's how easy it is. Now guys like Clapton and stuff they were advanced for their time, but not super advanced, and they were more about the song. And this is going to go into something that somebody else said, and I want to tell you guys something. It don't matter how fucking good of a shredder you are, if you can't write a memorable song, nobody's going to remember you. I mean, there are rare cases like Eruption, Jimmy doing Star Spangled Banner, but I mean, some of his songs like Fire, Foxy, you know, those are the songs he was remembered for. And they're also singers. And Van Halen had a great singer, David Lee Roth, when they first started out. And I'm talking about this because Rick Beato and some of these other people are propping this Italian kid up who picks with his fingers like a bass player, which is no big deal. I've seen Stanley Jordan do that millions of years ago. Stanley Jordan, if you don't know who he was back in the 80s. He played bass lines, chords, and leads at the same time. Freaking amazing. That kid's not even on that level. Now, technically, is the kid good? Yeah, he knows all the scales. He can play all that. And that's great. But you got to be able to write a fucking song. This is why these guys like Rick Beato kind of piss me off sometimes. You're not the best guitar player if you haven't wrote a fucking song. Hall & Oates, she's a rich girl. Sarah Smiles. Jesse's Got a Girl, I Want to Make Her Mine. Rick Springfield, Kansas. I mean, Van Halen, Journey. These are bands that wrote rememberable songs and will last the test of time, like a Stairway to Heaven. And even as much as I like Sweet Child of Mine, I'm fucking sick of it, to be honest. You know, I'd rather hear Paradise City or Mr. Brownstone or something, or Rocky Queen. But this goes to show you, when you write a hook and you write something memorable, that's gonna outlast any guitar solo, unless it's the hook of the song, like Sweet Child of Mine. Now, who can hum the solo to Helter Skelter, or the guitar solo in TNA by the Stones, or who can hum nobody. No one remembers the guitar solo. And there are few that are memorable that are staples, and there are staple solos, no doubt about it, but they fit the song. And most of the staple songs of the solos are very melodic, like the very memorable, very melodic. Crazy Train, or, you know, with the memorable solos. Mr. Crowley, Journey, you know, with the memorable melodic solos. It's not the shred stuff. Nobody remembers the shred. You throw that in for a little secret sauce. But this again is what pisses me off about this music industry and the YouTube, because the music industry has changed so much that it's become about views and talking and propping people up for content instead of substance. And that's where they fail. And I hate that. It's about you guys, it's about real playing, it's about getting you better, and talking about the stuff that makes people legend and memorable. I don't give a shit about this kid from Italy until he writes a hit song, because there's tons of Alex Hutchings, Tom Quayle, there's tons, Rick Graham, phenomenal guitar players. You ever heard of them? No. Number one, they don't sing. Number two, I don't think they've wrote a hit. Rhett Scholl wrote a hit? No, he's not on the radio. These guys are remembered for not their playing, for the song. And your job as a guitar player in the band is to make the band sound better. And that is by writing hooks and memorable stuff or a beautiful song. Now, because you're playing jazz and stuff, great. Fusion, great. But until you write like the Winery Dogs, like a Richie Kotzen, he plays with his fingers. He plays scales like that. How come Rick Beato ain't talking about him? And that guy can sing like unbelievable. He kind of sounds like, what's his name from Audioslave? Chris Cornell, actually. So, what's the whole big deal about all of this? Is because I want you guys to be aware of what's going on in the communities. They've run out of content. They bullshit people. They have, the next the shredder, the unbelievable. I shut the F up, for God's sakes. And you're steering people wrong. It's like a football team. I don't care how many yards you ran, and you got the trophy for best in the league. Did you get the Super Bowl ring? Did you get the NBA ring? The NHL Cup? Did the Stanley? Did you get it? Did you do your job as a team? And a band isn't a single person. It's a group of collective people with a goal to achieve. And that's to write incredible songs and entertain. So I hope that helps a lot of people. Again, in 20 minutes, I don't have to do an hour video on BS. I just wanted to show you that you can do videos. I showed you scales. Oh, and by the way, going back into the scale thing, let's turn it into a quick lesson. Going back into Clapton. Let's use the G major again. Here you go. Inside a G, the relative minor is E. E, A, B. You got E, A, B, E. Those are my pentatonics. It's a 1-4-5. Like a chord progression, I find a relative minor to the major scale, which is 3 down from the major note, which is E, and then I play a 1-4-5 off of the E, and I get my minor pentatonic positions and chords. That easy. Now, what guys would do, they play a 1-4-5. And they wrote blues songs. Now what they did, and this goes back into the soloing, learn those positions. It's very critical, and learn all the patterns. Seconds. These are patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. 4. Pull offs. Hammer on. I'm just playing patterns and slides and bends in that A pentatonic scale. And why is this so important? Because in A, those are all my chord tones in that scale. So those are all critical. So I can write riffs. Now I don't have to play the A here, I can play the A down there. playing an A. What other is an A, C major, and A? D and E. Now I get 3 other positions or 2 other positions to move around in. I can play a pattern here. And then a pattern here. And then a bend there. It doesn't matter what you do. That's how guys like Clapton survived for years. That's what that kid that shreds can't do. He doesn't grasp that concept yet. He's a technically good player who mimics everybody else. Kind of like me, but I understand the theory of it. I had influences like Lynch and Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads, of course. All those guys. That's how I learned to play. Even Hendrix the back. To jazz guys. So I'm an influence of all of them. But what I do is I let it go when I play. I learned all those patterns inside these scales. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I go to the next three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're creating patterns. And it could be chord patterns. That easy. Just got to put the time into it. Now how I'll explain this, because we're going to keep this video under 25 minutes. And you got a gear review. You got setup for any kind of pedal board. You got a lesson in there, and the importance of why scales are that important and how you can move them around and use all those patterns. And scales were created first, and then the chords were created out of the scales. That's the important concept that everybody has to understand. And once you think of it that way, doors and windows will open for everybody. That's why I talk about the BS on here with everything that goes on. I don't need views as far as content. I'm not going to run out of content because God knows they give me plenty to rant about with their BS. And now there's a lot of other things that go into it and stuff that's why I say some of these people, even though they're experienced, they just say it because they've ran out of content, because they've been doing 3-4 videos. They think it's their job. Being a YouTuber is a job, and I gotta make a video every day to keep my views up so I get paid. Go get a fucking job. This is supposed to be for fun. That's why I'm not telling you guys. Everything that you guys want to do is up to you. I say you don't need to buy a brand new Fractal. I say you can buy an old Headrush and a PA cab speaker and sound great. Why? I have one. I have the money to go play whatever I want. I'm not sponsored anymore, endorsement deals. What did I do? I upgraded my AX8 Fractal to the new FM3 Turbo. And then I got the Headrush, an old one, for a backup. And it sounds just as good to me, you know? It's fine. I get through a gig. It's a little different sound, but each unit, like Kemper has its own kind of sound. Helix has its own kind of sound because it's built in the same unit. So of course their amps are in the same algorithms and it's all set up the same in their profiles, no matter what they profile or what kind of amp they put in. Helix has its own kind of sound. Kemper has its own kind of sound. Fractal has its own. Headrush has its own kind of sound. Imperial. But they're all great. And what I'm telling you is none of these guys, and here's the tail of the tape. Go type in these guys that are promoting this gear and go see what they play live. Go see their band. The only one that I know that promotes Fractal and plays with Fractal is Cooper and my buddy Leon Todd. Anyone else, I don't know. I see these guys with the head rushes and this and the new Prime and this and that. Where do they play? Show me their pedal board. I guarantee it's not on there. It's a great product. Yeah, they're trying to sell. They get free product to market it, to sell it. So are their opinions biased? Absolutely. Me? No. I got head rush, I got this, I got that, I got Gibsons, I got Epiphones, I got Kramers, I got Jackson. It don't matter to me. So that's all I'm going to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm going to try to, if you like the idea of more content in one video and talking about a bunch of different things, so you can watch one video for like 25 minutes and you get a whole bunch of information from different areas. Tell me what you think about that. And we got some more stuff coming up. Peace. Oh, and I want to say, I had 2 friends die in the past 2 weeks. One was a guy that I grew up with, Sean Phillips. We worked out together when we were kids. We were really good friends. We used to party together, work out together. He was a good guy. He always looked out for us when we went out clubbing and stuff. He wouldn't drink. He was our driver, chaperone, bodyguards at the time when we were young and dumb. And then one of the bar owners in my local area who owns Cheers, his brother Sean owns Cheers East and Cheers West. Conrad, I won't go into the details of what happened, but we can just say he ended his life. He was troubled and burdened with the businesses and stuff like that, and some of the people in the business. He had an unfortunate bout, and my prayers go out to both their families. You guys will be greatly missed. So peace out.